there, my name's Tracy from Randomness of Rudy, and in this video we're going to talk about Cancer and Sagittarius in a relationship. This is actually a part of my YouTube series on the Cancer experience where I talk about Cancer in a relationship with each sign of the zodiac. And so if you haven't seen the first video I did where I go a bit more in depth on what it's actually like to date a Cancer, please go back and check that out. I see Cancer with Sagittarius all too often. And this match is kind of like Scorpio and Gemini in a relationship in that I don't know how these two come together in the first place, and I don't understand how it tends to last. All I can think is that there is just this fascination. Okay, there's got to be a fascination between these two sun signs that bring them together and essentially keep them together. Although it's a tough match, and even though I see this coupling often, I don't see it last too often. And so if you're a Cancer dating a Sagittarius or vice versa, listen up, because if you want your relationship to go the test of time, then hopefully what I have to say about this relationship will help. Both signs are very different, first off. Cancer is a water sign, Sagittarius is a fire sign. The elements alone do not go well together. Sagittarius is an active energy that is always, 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 always on the go. Cancer is a very introverted energy, a very passive energy that prefers to stay at home, do crafts, take care of the family, and really kind of recharge his or her batteries in a way that's more private and not so outgoing. Now, this isn't to say that Cancer isn't outgoing, and Cancer is definitely one of the more courageous signs out there in that Cancer is always willing to try something once. Cancer is very tenacious, and if you challenge Cancer, most likely he or she will step up to the plate. But that doesn't change the fact that this is a water sign. This is a very emotional sign, and this is an energy that more often than not needs to kind of stop and pause and recharge his or her batteries, okay? So the fact that your elements are different is definitely one reason why this relationship kind of gets off to a rocky start. Also, Sagittarius is an energy that really likes to explore the world and really likes to step outside of his or her local environment. And so as a result, it can be very difficult to pin this sign down. It can be very difficult to get Sagittarius to actually commit to something long term. And Cancer wants commitment long term. And so that's another disagreement between you that will make this relationship difficult. And so going into things, you need to understand what each other needs and what each other is about up front so that you can decide for yourself if it is a relationship that you want to pursue, okay? And also, Sagittarius is this philosophical energy that tends to spew knowledge and information and boasts about his or her wisdom, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sagittarius is quite knowledgeable and quite wise and quite the world traveler, but Sagittarius doesn't necessarily have the best filter. And so as a result, because this is an energy that can just be very blunt and will tell it to you straight, those are things that will throw Cancer off. Those are things that will make Cancer disappear. And that's what Cancer does when Cancer is upset. Cancer disappears. And so again, this is another sticking point that you both signs will need to be mindful of in this relationship. With regards to sexual compatibility, it's kind of the same thing in that you both are just so very different in the bedroom. Cancer needs warmth and love and affection and attention and time and passion and foreplay. Sagittarius is not as into lovemaking as much as Cancer is. That doesn't mean Sagittarius doesn't enjoy it. It's just Sagittarius takes a more lighthearted approach. Sagittarius is more playful. Sagittarius is the one that will talk during lovemaking. Sagittarius is the one that will laugh and chuckle and just doesn't take it so seriously. And that's fine. But clearly, this is one example of how both of your styles in the bedroom are just very different. And so again, if you can understand these things about each other, accept them, and do your best to please one another, especially in the bedroom, hopefully you will overcome some of these differences. With regards to your disagreements, I think most people always tend to disagree with Sagittarius, and that's because Sagittarius is just so opinionated and in the most extreme kind of ways sometimes, and it can be very difficult to kind of match Sagittarius on his or her intellect. But nevertheless, you are going to have disagreements, and really what the base of your disagreements will be is the fact that Sagittarius is kind of all over the place, doing his or her thing, learning, growing, evolving, exploring. And Cancer needs someone that's a bit more stable and someone that they can count on and someone who's a bit more dependable and someone that will actually be there in the present. And so you want to be mindful of this too. And also you want to also keep in mind that Cancer, you know, it will be important for you to express your upset and to let Sagittarius know what is going on, why you're upset, and where you stand, okay? Because Sagittarius isn't going to know when something's up unless you say so. Sagittarius can be quite oblivious, to be quite honest. And so, you know, you're going to have to be vocal with Sagittarius so that Sagittarius gets it, and not in an emotional way. Don't come to Sagittarius with some kind of scene, you know. Just be upfront, be straightforward. And Sagittarius will either receive what you've said and do his or her best to be considerate of what you need, or decide to not do those things. And that's definitely a very huge possibility as well. So keep this in mind. And meanwhile, Sagittarius, also keep in mind that your Cancer is quite needy. Your Cancer needs predictability and reassurance and security to a certain extent. And if you want to be in a relationship with Cancer, you're going to have to make sure that you provide these things to your Cancer, okay? So it is a tough match. It is also a match, though, that I see happen more often than not, which, like I said, is just mind-boggling to me. But it is a tough match. And so if you keep these things in mind, if you are able to accept your differences, and if it's a relationship that you want to continue and commit to, just make sure that you understand one another and that you're actually communicating with one another and that you're doing your best to find a happy medium in the relationship. If you want more information, feel free to visit my website at randomnessofrudy.com. And until next time, good luck.